I lose this fight, it's my own fault.
Holly did what, Holly was supposed to do. She stayed on the outside. She used her range and distance, head kicks.
This is one good fight, and there's so much more to prove.
Joining us now is a fighter who defied the odds and took the crown, defeating Ronda Rousey by second-round KO, her 7th KO win. She is the first person ever to win a world title in both boxing and the UFC. We welcome to the desk Holly Holm.
How's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love it.
This is our first time talking about the fight, so we're really looking forward to having you here to do so. When did you know you had this fight?
Anything can happen in a fight, and so I knew that I had her timing. I knew that I could do it after I'd landed a couple of good, solid, clean shots. But I knew that that was only going to stay that way as long as I kept on my toes. I didn't want to let her do anything, counterpunch, land a shot herself. She's obviously proven that she can end a fight in no time flat. So,
Stephen A.
I'm wondering, I watched this fight and I said to myself, her face could not get away from any of your punches, whether it was your straight lefts or right. I was shocked by that. Did you anticipate that that was going to be something that gave you a huge advantage coming into this fight?
I didn't expect to be able to land as clean as many times as I wanted to, but I think that it just was all that training. I mean, I spent more time in the gym for this fight than any other fight, and it really paid off.
So, Holly, how much, if any, sympathy have you had for Ronda after she's experienced such a backlash from so many people who said, hey, she got what she deserved after all her pre-fight arrogance?
She's been a great champion for a reason. She's confident. She's gotten there because she believes in herself. It's kind of a double-edged sword, so a lot of people can kind of throw back at it. But I do have a compassion for her because all these people that are saying this stuff, I don't really know if there's a single actual fighter out there who's really saying that. Most of it has been, people that haven't been part of the sport, and it takes a lot. It's hard to explain it, but you put all this work into getting in there, and you walk in there in front of millions of people knowing you might get beat up in front of millions of people. You might get, I was explaining to some of my friends before the fight, I said, I go in there and get knocked out by Ronda Rousey. I'm supposed to be the stand-up fighter. Like, that's embarrassing in front of millions of people. And you kind of have to be, it's a very vulnerable position to be in. She's been the most dominant, so if somebody beats her, it's one of those moments that it's hard to swallow, and that's why not a lot of people can do it. You have to walk in there knowing that it's bad. It might happen in front of a ton of people, but you just be okay with it.
It takes guts.
Well, Holly, that's exactly why I didn't really hold it against her, because I think there's a level of arrogance, there's a level of confidence that you have to have walking into that octagon, because you never know what could happen. You got to believe in yourself, because that's really what you got to hold on to. But with that thought in mind, I must ask you whether it's at the weigh-in and, it almost looked like y'all were about to tussle at that point, or, when you came together right before the fight, her refusal to touch gloves and get ready to go. I'm kind of wondering, what was your mindset? Did you feel like she was trying to rattle you, or did that make you even more motivated because you were offended by her antics or whatever the case may be? What was going through your mind at that particular moment in time?
I can kind of feel a little more emotion at the face-off the media day, the day before weigh-ins. So when she came up at weigh-ins, I wasn't expecting it, but it didn't necessarily surprise me. And it was a pretty heated face-off. But it was fine with me. I mean, we are getting ready to get in the ring the next day and, go at it. So it's kind of one of those things that it's intense. There's a lot of emotion. I didn't really take offense by it. Maybe I just thought, well, she's getting emotional. She's getting involved. I know she's committed. I know she's into this. And but I'm here, and that's all I was thinking at weigh-ins. I'm standing right here. Again, it doesn't matter how, quickly you walk over here, how fierce you get in my face. I'm standing right here, and I'm not going anywhere.
So when the match started, it appeared right away she was going to try to beat you at your own game. She was going to try to exchange shots with you as a boxer. Is that how you saw it?
I felt that she might want. I mean, any fight starts on your feet, so I think, yeah, maybe I'll test it out, and if I don't like it, then I'll go to what I do. You know, I think that was probably how that went, and she did, you know, put my back on the cage for a little bit, and I was able to get out, and she went for a couple of hip tosses in the middle of the cage in the first round, and so. I don't know. I feel like it was she went for an armbar at one point, so it wasn't just the stand-up. There was a lot that happened. I think just the stand-up stuff is what stuck out, and so I think she really did try on some of the other stuff. That night I had an answer.
I think when everybody looks at Ronda Rousey, I think what really took us all aback, it wasn't just that it was a loss, it was how she lost. And it wasn't just that she got KO'd, she got beat up. When you look at it from that perspective, do you anticipate that she'll want a rematch quick, fast, and in a hurry? Or do you think it's one of those situations where it's about a lot of talk, but she doesn't really want any part of you a second go round? What's the mindset of the victor that walks out of that octagon, you know, in the aftermath of all of that?
You know, and with this fight, it was one of those things that if there's anything that I actually will be, you know, proud of, is it was dominating. It wasn't just a lucky punch, and so I don't know how that feels on, you know, I don't know where her mind's at, but I know that she was wanting to take some time off after this fight regardless. She's got a movie to go film and things like that, and you know, to go through something like that, I've been on the other end of it. I've been knocked out and had to kind of dig deep, battle with my own demons in my own mind, and see where I wanted to go from there. But she's been a champion for a reason. She's motivated and she's competitive, so I wouldn't doubt if she wanted to come back and avenge that loss and come back even stronger.
Are you aching for an opportunity to fight her and beat her again, or do you want to move on?
Whatever comes. I've never picked a fight. I don't ever want to. I always say whatever opportunity I'm just going to take, and that's actually what has got me to where I'm at right now. They set that fight up with Ronda. Everybody thought it was too soon. I took the fight too soon. I'm not ready yet. It's only my third fight in the UFC, and you know, my wins haven't been in devastating fashion, and hers have been. And I said, well, as soon as they called, I said, awesome, let's do it. You know, and everybody else didn't believe. I knew that we could do it with hard work. And did I have to do everything right? Yes, but. By me just taking that opportunity is exactly why we're sitting here today. And so whatever they throw at me is just how I'm going to keep that same mentality. I don't want to change anything.
Miesha Tate just called you out. Would you like her or Ronda next?
Either one, whatever they set up.
All right.
So Ronda has had her issues with Floyd Mayweather Jr. You have now met him, took a couple pictures with him. What's your view of Floyd?
You know, I don't know him personally. I mean, I just got to meet him, which it's an honor. He's, you know, he's been a very dominant, I mean, obviously, he has never lost, so how do you not admire that and that skill set? You know, I don't know him. I know as far as, you know, what he's done in the sport, I think it's awesome.
Stephen A.
Do you... Oh yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you think it's one of? Are you one of those that you'd like to? We've heard so much stuff about, you know, Ronda Rousey and whether she'd fight him or somebody else. You're not one of those ladies that aspires to get into the octagon with a man, are you?
No, you know, I spar with him every day, and I feel like that's a competitive thing, you know. But I feel like let's keep it true to how it is, and I feel like the women are talented. They can give a lot of the men a go, I'll tell you that. But I like having good sanctioned fights, and there's men are men, women are women.
You certainly do train with some of the best there in Albuquerque, no question. Congratulations, Holly. We appreciate you being here with us, and hopefully we'll see you again after your next one, whoever it is, Ronda, Miesha, someone else. So enjoy being here in Bristol.
Thank you so much.
When we're not getting it, I'm going to give it to you free, okay? A Super Bowl! Boom! America's eyes on me right now.
I believe
that.
That makes my point.
First Take is brought to you by Grey Goose, world's best tasting vodka.
Premier Boxing Champions presented by Corona Extra is back on ESPN Wednesday night from Miami. Our coverage begins at 8 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app. Speaking of boxing, over the weekend in Vegas, Canelo Alvarez defeated Miguel Cotto by unanimous decision. Stephen A., you picked Canelo to get the victory. What was your takeaway?
Well, the first thing I want to do is give respect to Cotto, because he clearly was the smaller fighter. He was smaller, he was weaker. Canelo came in the ring bigger, stronger. The power punches were more conspicuous. There's no denying that. I just thought that Cotto did a masterful job of boxing and surviving, because as the fight waned, you just saw the punches from Alvarez appearing to be more effective, although Cotto never appeared in trouble. In the end, what it came down to is that I think the better fighter won in this particular division. Canelo Alvarez is the real deal. I still believe he needs to stay away from Triple G, but that clearly appears to be the mega fight. I think that could be the mega fight.
I think he's plenty big enough to hang with.
Well, he's big enough now. He's big enough now. But I just believe that Triple G, I think Triple G would knock anybody out.
Do you?
His subweight
I think
or
we'll
lower.
see it in early May in Vegas, and maybe we'll be there. You never know.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I mean, I think that's the mega fight. And I think it's a worthy mega fight. I ain't trying to, I thought that Triple G would destroy anybody. Canelo impresses me because he's got punching power. He can box. He's not just, a good-looking guy or whatever. This brother's the real deal. I give a lot of respect to Cotto. He just needs to stay at that welterweight division. I think he was too small for him.
You were right about this. I was definitely wrong, because I did not know that Canelo has grown up as a boxer the way he had against a real boxer in Cotto. We saw Floyd take Canelo to school 2 years ago. And, boy, Saturday night, I was just mystified by how he could box. He outboxed Cotto. And he didn't do it with that big, lethal right hand of his. He did it with his left, with hooks and jabs. He punished Cotto. I thought Cotto did not get enough respect from the judges for how he did hang in this fight. Dan Rayfield made that point after the fight.
I agree with that. I agree with Dan and you.
But you're right. He was just not quite big enough. And Canelo has grown up in spirit and in skill. And he just said, bring on Triple G. He said they're good friends. He wanted to box him on Saturday. Well, let's just do it right here. Let's just go ahead.
That would have been a mistake.
Well, it would have been interesting, though. But I like the spirit of it. He said, this is my time. My era has arrived. I love the kid. I thought it was like a work of art what he did to Cotto.
And what I love about the kid is that Triple G is at 160. So he would have to move down to 155 unless Canelo was willing to move up. Still in all, Canelo willing to take that fight.
I know, but by fight time, Canelo was weighing like 172. I don't think the size.
Triple G goes up too. But I'm just saying it matters that Canelo is willing to take on anybody. That's a big deal.
We have a boxer here tomorrow, /UFC fighter. Holm will be here. Jadakiss will talk to him about his new album. Do you guys know, confession, I had to buy the fight twice. I'm such an old lady. I can't stay awake. Tonight I will, though, because we got a good one. Monday Night Football. Go Pats. Bye.